Okay, a nice easy one this week, guys. What we're going to be doing is cooking this chicken. I'm going to cut the chicken up first, and we're going to be putting the chicken breast into a nice mushroom sauce. So it's a nice simple one this week. What we're going to do first is get this chicken cut up. Now, the way I normally do it is I cut down the centre like that, which opens it up, and then I go either side with my bread knife. It's not used for bread, it's purely used for chicken. So that's one half of the chicken, and what I do generally, turn this round and get the, now you can use poultry scissors. I just find that's easy to get that out like that. It's quick and easy. And so that's separated in half. Then what we do now, bear with me, I'm just going to wash my hands quickly. Always keep your hands clean, keep cleaning them when you're working with chicken. You come through here, separate the leg. Same again on this side. Just run your knife across. So we've got two legs there. Now what I tend to do is cut these wings out. There is a bone in there. I'm not the best butcher in the world. Like that. Put that to one side. Get the tip in round that joint, like so. You can see it like that. There's loads of ways of doing this. Professional chef will do that in seconds. I'm not a professional butcher. I'm not a professional butcher, so what I then tend to do is take these off. You can do it if you just find there. You just see there's a joint there. Get rid of the tip. And that'll come pretty easy. Just discard those. Now what I tend to do with these as well is separate the legs off of these. I take this off here, this part of the bird, and I tend to just cut around like that, like that. You can actually then find the joint. There's a joint there. If you get your boning knife straight in between, there's your leg off. Simple as that. So you've got your leg and you've got your bit of thigh there. So there we go. That's going to be for another cook. So it's the two legs, two bits of thigh, and we've got the two wings. So that leaves us with the breast. What we need to do is get this, literally like the rib cage off of the thigh, or off the chicken breast. You get a boning knife down the side. Just work your knife round. What you're also finding there is what you call the wishbone. I'm just going to take that out. There's your wishbone. Just bring that round a little bit more. I know there's going to be a lot of people saying, oh God, what have you done to that? But like I say, I'm not a professional butcher. But that always works for me. There we go, that's off. Okay, so we've got those little tender strips that come off the back of the breast. So I put the other breast to one side. That's going to be used for something else as well. I'm only cooking for 2 tonight, so this should be plenty for 2 people. So what we're going to do is fry this up. It's a little bit too thick, this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to butterfly this open a little bit. And then I'm going to cut that in the middle, like that. So we just break it up a little bit. Take a little bit of skin off there. So there you go. So what we can do now while we've got this like this is just quickly season it with some salt and pepper. A couple of other things we've got to prep up is garlic. So we need to get this chopped up. I'm not putting too much garlic in this because it is it's only a couple of little small bits of chicken breast. Wasn't very good, was it? Good enough. And for the amount we're doing tonight, that's probably enough there, which was about half a small onion. We don't want to overpower it with too much onion. A little bit of parsley. We don't need too much of this, but we'll just give that a bit of a chop up. And we'll be using that just to garnish it and put that in. Not too much of that. Right, so we're just going to get our little Lidl mini Kamado lit. Haven't used this for a while. So what we'll do is we'll open up this top vent all the way. I'm going to light this first, light the little woody that's in there. Bottom vent's fully open, and we'll let it start coming up to temperature. Make sure there's a nice a flame in there and it's caught the charcoal properly, and then we'll look at putting our deflector plate in and grill grate on top. Okay, so we've got our charcoal lit, and now we can drop in deflector plate. Make sure that it's got a gap all the way around. Sometimes you just have to work it a little bit so it fits in. And what we'll do is we'll put the grill on, and then we'll get our pot on. Okay, so I'm hoping that's got enough heat in it now. It feels pretty warm. There's a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of that, so I'm just going to drop in a bit of chicken. Yeah, you can hear it Okay, so we can see it sizzling away in there. It's probably going to take about 4, maybe 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that either side, just to get that cooked up. Don't forget it's going to cook a little bit more once we put the sauce in, so we'll get that where we want it, and then we'll take it out and put it to one side. What I am going to do is, I've got a couple of bits of garlic there, I'm just going to drop in. We'll take those out in a little while once that's finished cooking. But we will add more garlic when we actually start doing the sauce. Okay, so I've just put a little bit of water in with that, and I'm just going to add a little bit of crumbled chicken stock. So I've literally put in about 1/4 cup of water into there, and a little bit of this chicken stock which is crumbled up. That's going to add to the flavour. So when you're cooking like this on the little mini Kamado, just keep an eye on your temperatures. If that starts to get too hot in there, then obviously shut your bottom vent down a little bit. So literally shut it all the way down. At the moment it's wide open, but shut it all the way down to about a finger, and that will bring the temperature down for you. You can also shut the top vent down a little bit as well, and that will help keep the temperature down a little bit more. But when we're cooking like this, it's mainly the bottom vent that's doing all the work. So if you turn that off, it will bring the temperature down. Right, so I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of water in there. That's just going to loosen up where I've been cooking the chicken breast. Now we don't want to clean this out, there's plenty of flavour in there. I'm just going to close that bottom vent down because it's getting quite hot now. I'm shutting that bottom vent right down. There's loads of heat in this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put some of our onions in. And start cooking those up. Right, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to drop some cream in. I'd say about 1/2 cup of cream, but obviously it depends on how much you're cooking, so you need enough in there. So that will mix with everything in there. We're going to give that a little bit more actually. So that cream was quite cold, so it's going to have to come back up to temperature. So we just close that down and keep an eye on that. I want to keep stirring it as well. I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of plain flour to this. And that will help thicken up our sauce. probably didn't need that, to be honest, but that will just bring that, it'll just help that thicken up a little bit. That was a single cream that I used. You can use double, but I prefer the single, and then to add, I prefer the single and then to add some flour to it if it needs thickening. Okay, so our sauce is thickened up. We're now going to put our chicken bits back in. Let's just grab these, just drop them in there. That's looking pretty good.